Alright, now, in the last video I said how we're not going to be putting the included box fan cooler on this processor, okay? While the AMD box cooler is more than enough for the processor in question that you buy, um, unfortunately it is still a fan no matter how you do it, and, you know, it has certain limitations, okay? The AMD box cooler is great, don't get me wrong. It will definitely cool your processor very well. But once you go to water cooling, you don't go back. Okay? It's kind of like that old saying where once you've had a Cadillac, you never go back. Okay? And that's basically what we're doing here. I have the Cadillac, I'm not going back to a Chevy. Okay? Alright? It's just that simple. Once you've had it, you know you've had it. Okay? So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be installing our fans. Now, unfortunately, with these fans here, I couldn't find it in an orange. Okay, so I had to go with red, and you know, I think that'll be all right. You know, so we're going to take out the fan here. I didn't unbox earlier. If I can get it open, that is. Where's my X-Acto knife? Maybe I'll just tear the thing open. So, you know, it's all right. You know. But, well, I would have preferred an orange fan, you know, this will work just fine. These fans will replace the fans that originally were on came with the water cooler. Whenever you change out fans like this, you got to do a lot of research because you want the fan that as closely matches the original performance specs as the old one, okay? And fortunately, Corsair also happened to make the fan that I really wanted and needed. And this is taking forever, I realize. Oh, my apologies. But it'll be okay. It'll be alright. So, as soon as I get this box open, I just knew where my handy dandy... Oh wait, I found it. Oh wait, I didn't find it. So where, oh where... Maybe I'll just take a minute here to figure out what I did with my X-Acto knife. My X-Acto knife is gone missing. Oh joy. Okay. Well, improvise. This is taking me already 3 minutes. I don't even have this box open. Alright, we're gonna take our little kitchen scissors here. And we'll just cut this tape open. And like I said in the last video, so far I have recycled all the boxes. I gotta find out if this thing has a plastic coating on it too. And if this box has a plastic coating on it, I can't recycle it. I also will have to do things like cut out the Corsair name and where it says ML120 Pro LED. That's gold foil. That's a metal foil. That's also not recyclable here. Yep. You know, my city, you know, is doing the best it can as far as recycling goes, but they don't recycle everything, and there are certain rules that apply. So, you know, it is what it is. Okay. Alright, now this thing also comes with screws, but we're not going to be using these, okay? At least I hope not. I hope not. I sure hope we don't have to use those little screws. But the manufacturer of the water block, Corsair, has included longer screws, so I'm going to hopefully use those instead. I want to use... Where'd they go? Yeah, I'm terribly organized today. I realize that. Alright. Here's the screws I intend to use. See how long they are? This is the screws you get with the fan. I want to use these ones if I can because they're longer. Okay? If I can. Okay? So now we got both of these out. Okay? This water block here, okay, this is a radiator. I'll take the plastic off here because we're going to be working on this one right now. This here is a radiator. It's just like your car, okay, just like your car. In it is your car, you know, it's got a metal casing inside of it. It's got copper tubing where water flows through it. This is exactly like your car's radiator in miniature. Exactly. Okay. Alright, so now we are going to be installing these fans. These fans here. We're going to be installing these two fans in a push-pull configuration. Now, these fans match the original fans that were on here. But this is just a single 120 millimeter block radiator, okay? And so I want to get the maximum amount of cooling out of this little radiator as I can. To do that, I'm going to have to use a push-pull configuration, which means I'm going to have one fan on one side here and another fan on another side here, so that the air gets pushed and pulled to the radiator. That should give me, in theory, maximum cooling. Should. I'll find out if it does or not, but in theory it should work. You know, push-pull, that's what you want for a small radiator like this, okay? You can get away with just one fan, but since I got this one in a package for a good price, you know, I figured, why don't I try push-pull, okay? That's what I'm going to be doing. Alright, now, getting this fan on is very simple. Remember, you're going to be push-pulling, okay? So, this fan has to go this way, okay? Because air's flowing that way. It's flowing, you know. The air's going to be flowing this way, okay? So, we need this fan to be pulling the air that way, okay? And on this fan, here, we want the logo to face inside and the back of it facing this way so it blows into the radiator. So we're going to be that's how we're going to be doing push-pull here, okay? Very simple, real easy. Now, let's see if we can get the screws on. That may be more complicated. And I may have to take this off depending on how I set this up. I don't know exactly how this is going to fit inside my case. As far as these cables go, I have to figure it out. But, you know, that's okay. But the purpose of this video here is just simply to show you how those screws will fit on there, okay? That's the whole purpose of the entire video here, okay? So now we're going to take our screws, and they come with washers. Oh, how nice. How nice. How nice. Okay. Now, I'm not entirely sure if I should put screw between the fan and the radiator, or if I should put the washer here in front of the bolt and then bolt it all on. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to put it on the bolt itself. I may change that setup, I may not, we'll see. And I may also change these fans too. So we'll see. All depends how it hooks up here to the rest of this. Okay. So we're just going to install the first one. And you don't need a lot of force. So you want it on there obviously, because you don't want any vibration. But you don't want to give it, you know, the Godzilla turn here, because, you know, that could be, you know, really bad, obviously. Okay. So we got that one on. And then we get this one through that hole. Now keep in mind, see what I'm doing here is I'm doing this harder on me, okay? So I can't stand up here and look at what I'm doing. So I'm doing this ultimate sitting position, okay? That way you can see what I'm doing and my body doesn't get in your way here. So I'm doing a lot of this work by feel, okay? Now, if you're a guy like me that's been doing this for like 20 years, you can get away with feel. I don't recommend you build a computer like this. The only reason I can do it is because I've been doing this for 20 years, okay? Now, for somebody that's maybe new to this, go ahead, stand up, get all over this thing, whatever you got to do, okay? That's my advice, okay? Now, line up these ones here, and ideally, if I have done this right, these things should all just go right in. Should. I'll know here in a second if it goes in properly or not. If it starts to bite, yep, it's biting. Okay. So I did this right. Even a guy like me that's been doing it for 20 some years, still makes mistakes. Okay? So if you make a mistake, don't worry about it. If a guy like me can make a mistake, then you can too. But once you realize your mistake, go back, fix it. Okay? Now, you want to be very careful not to lose any of these screws. I've been telling you this, the whole way through. Because these are all submetric screws usually. Okay? Which means if you lose them, you're out of luck. You'll have to order from the manufacturer and they'll charge you for it. I promise you. So keep your screws. Now this bolt here is not synced up. And I may have put this on wrong. But we'll see if we can't get this worked out. Alright, come on, go in there. Alright, that went in there. If the bolt doesn't go in there the first time just right, sometimes you just gotta wiggle a little bit. It'll be alright. Just work the problem. Don't use a ton of force. Okay, even though these fans gotta go on tight, don't use it, the Godzilla twist, You want nice steady strokes until it's nice and firmly on there. You want to stop with the pressure just before you start to strip the screws. Okay? So now, let me turn this thing around. Well, first I'll show you, in case you didn't see it. We have the first fan on. And this is, the right direction. So the air should be going that way. Okay? So that's what it looks like. That's the first fan. That's the first fan on. Now we need to install the other fan. Okay? Alright, now we're going to get the other fan. And remember, because we're doing push-pull, okay, now I want the Corsair logo to face us inside the case. That way the air goes that way. Okay? Alright. So, we just keep doing the same process. And ideally, if we do this right, and like I said, if you do it wrong, don't get upset, don't get frustrated, it's hardware. Sometimes things don't always cooperate. You just work the problem. Okay? And if you take your time, have a little patience, you don't drink too much coffee. And whatever you do when you're building computer building, don't drink a lot of coffee. Drink tea or drink your RC or your Coke or your Pepsi, something without a lot of caffeine in it. That way you don't, have the jitters, okay? Because sometimes, you're getting something on there, it's not quite working, you need just a little bit of force, okay? If you have too much coffee, you may, give it the Godzilla push by accident. Sometimes you want to give just a little bit of push, and then you immediately got to stop pushing because it went in place. And if you keep pushing, you may damage something. That's why I don't recommend you drink like a whole ton of coffee before you build a computer, because you want to be able to control your movements very carefully. Okay? So what I'm doing here is basically very careful force. Okay, that's the best way to describe it. I'm using a little bit of force sometimes, and then just as soon as it does what I want it to do, I'm immediately backing off on the force I used. Okay, and if you have too much caffeine in your system, well, that may not work out so good. Okay, just saying, a little trick there. Okay, and this screw here, that will go in there just fine. If you want to hold it against there, you can. If you just want to lock the screw in, you can. And you just tighten it up. There we go. Right up until almost the screw starts to strip. That's what you want. That's fine. If you lose these bolts, okay, my advice is to go to the manufacturer website and just order new ones. Because you can go to a hardware store, okay, and they may have a 2mm or a 3mm screw here, or maybe a little bit too long. Now for a radiator, too long is a big problem, okay? Because in here, just like your car radiator, there's a lot of copper tubing inside. So if you get a bolt that's too big, what can happen here is you put that bolt too long or a little bit too wide, you can actually puncture the copper tubing inside here. And just like your car radiator, it'll start to leak. In fact, it'll start to leak the exact same chemical inside your car radiator. Okay? I forget what it's called. Something glycol. Glycol. Well, it's the same thing. It's radiator fluid, what it is. Okay? And if you are unfortunate and you manage to break it and it starts to leak, you gotta act quickly, especially if you got pets, okay? Because pets when they get near this stuff, if you don't clean this stuff up like right away, really good, pets think that radiator fluid tastes sweet. For pets, unfortunately, like dogs and cats, this stuff is a very deadly poison. So, if you get it on there, manage to break one of these radiators open, you need to take immediate action, especially if you got pets. Because your pet thinks the chemical that's in this radiator is sweet. Okay? That's why when you put radiator fluid in, in your car, you're very careful with it, hopefully, because if Fido comes along and you missed a drop, and he starts lapping it up, he's going to say, oh, good, green Kool-Aid, yum, tasty. And in a few hours, he'll be dead, and there's nothing the veterinarian can do for him. So if you manage to rupture your radiator, God forbid, just remember, you have to get to that fluid right away. Okay? Now, like the other one here, I have to wiggle this thing around just a little bit, get this bolt in. And like I said, it's pretty common for everybody. It's not a big deal. And if you do it right, it should go in. You'll know it's going in because you'll feel a slight resistance as it starts to go in. It's biting into the metal. And we're almost there. And another tiny twist. Right up until almost you feel the screw stripping. Yep, right there. And that's it. That's how you put fans on a radiator. Now, we have this thing configured for push-pull. Now, this configuration may or may not stay put. I don't know. Once I get inside the case and I see how it's hooked up better, then I may change the fans around to better line up these cables here. But it's ready to go. Okay. And later on in another video, I'll show you how I'm going to daisy chain these two fans together. Okay. And I'll show you how I'm going to hook up, the radiator to the processor and install this fan here and, you know, all that good stuff. Okay? Alright, so, actually, I may have a bit of a problem here. Yes, I do. I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, because I put the screws in here, the long screws. I'll have to take some of these long screws out so I can attach it inside my computer case. I just realized that. So I made one goof already. But I'll fix that and I'll show you how I'm going to fix that. All I have to do is take out some of these screws. And then if I attach it to the case, I'll have to run it through the fan and run it back to the radiator. But right now, you know, this is just to show you how to put a fan on a radiator block. Yeah. And remember, it's exactly like your car. Exactly. Okay. Works exactly the same way. Okay. That's it.